What if the secret to winning her heart is doing absolutely nothing? Sounds crazy, right? But when you ignore a woman the right way, everything changes. Her behavior, her attraction, her pursuit. In this video, I'll reveal the seductive power of silence and how ignoring her flips the entire game. Ignoring a woman, when done correctly, isn't about punishment. It's about preserving your value. When a woman disrespects you, tests you, withdraws affection to gain control, or creates unnecessary drama, the worst thing you can do is react emotionally. The moment you react, you give her power over your emotional state, and that instantly shifts the dynamic in her favor. She now knows that her mood can dictate yours, her chaos can trigger you, and her games can pull you in. That's the death of attraction. Real masculine energy is calm, grounded, and unshakable. A man who understands his worth doesn't need to fight for validation. He doesn't need to convince anyone of his value. He shows it through silence, through composure, through the refusal to entertain nonsense. And here's the truth. Many women, consciously or not, will test to see if you're that man. The stronger and more desirable you are, the more you'll get tested. It's not because she wants to destroy you. It's because she wants to feel safe. And safety for a woman doesn't come from your muscles or your money. It comes from your ability to stay grounded when she's spinning. She throws a tantrum. You stay calm. She withdraws. You stay present. She tries to provoke. You don't bite. This tells her everything she needs to know. You're not like the others. You don't beg. You don't chase. You don't play emotional ping pong. You stand firm. That, more than any line, gift, or romantic gesture, is what creates real desire. Because desire doesn't come from what you give, it comes from what you withhold until it's earned. And here's where most men get it wrong. They think being emotionally available means being emotionally reactive. It doesn't. You can be kind, present, and deeply connected while still maintaining your frame. That means setting boundaries. That means walking away when she crosses a line. That means not explaining yourself endlessly when she knows exactly what she's doing. When you ignore a woman after she disrespects you, you're showing her what the consequences are without needing to raise your voice or plead for better treatment. You're saying, "My energy is a privilege, not a guarantee." And that shifts everything. Now, some will say ignoring is manipulative, but manipulation involves deception. This isn't that. This is self-respect. If a woman acts out, creates chaos, or disrespects you, and you continue rewarding that with attention, affection, and emotional investment, you are teaching her that bad behavior works. And don't be surprised when it escalates. She's not learning to respect you, she's learning to control you. But let's be fair, this doesn't mean every emotional outburst is a manipulation. Women have emotions. They get overwhelmed, just like we do. The key is to distinguish between a moment and a pattern. A high-value woman might have a bad day. She might snap once, retreat into herself, or project her stress in a way that isn't ideal. But if her overall energy is respectful, supportive, and cooperative, don't confuse one slip with who she is. Ignoring in that case isn't the answer. Presence is. Calmly communicating, allowing space but not punishing, showing leadership without emotional withdrawal, that's the mark of a strong man. But when the chaos is consistent, when the tests are relentless, when the attitude overshadows the attraction, it's time to step back. That's where silence speaks loudest. Silence creates contrast. When you remove your energy, she suddenly has to face herself. No more blame shifting, no more deflecting, no more using you as an emotional punching bag. She feels your absence. And in that space, one of two things happens. She reflects and rises, or she retreats and replaces. Either way, you win. Because you want the woman who says, "Damn, I messed up. I pushed away a good man, I need to adjust." Not the one who runs into the arms of the next guy who gives her attention. If she can't sit in silence and consider her role in the breakdown, she was never invested in growing with you, only in controlling you. This is why ignoring only works when there's already attraction. If she doesn't care, your silence is meaningless. It's not power, it's just noise she doesn't hear. But if she does care, if there's genuine investment and you pull back at the right moment with the right energy, she feels it. Deeply. And that's when growth is possible. Ignoring is also a test for you. Can you sit in discomfort without needing to fix, chase, or explain? Can you be misunderstood without panicking? Can you hold your ground without needing her approval to feel secure? That's the difference between boys and men. Boys need validation. Men validate themselves. And the truth is, some of you are too available. You text back too fast, you explain too much, you try too hard to make her comfortable at the expense of your own comfort. That's not kindness, it's desperation in disguise. Women sense that. They may not say it, but they feel it, and it kills attraction. Real seduction isn't in what you say, it's in what you don't, in what you withhold, in the mystery you maintain, in the discipline to not react. She pushes, hoping for a reaction. You stay calm. That unsettles her in the best way. Not because you're playing games, but because you're not controlled by hers. Let's get real. Women are surrounded by attention. Every day, a flood of DMs, likes, compliments. Most men will bend over backwards just for a chance. So what makes you stand out? Not more validation, not more chasing. What makes you different is your restraint. Your standard, your presence in her absence. When you ignore her after she disrespects you, you force her to confront her own behavior. Not because you're trying to hurt her, but because you won't reward what isn't worthy. That's how boundaries work. That's how self-respect feels. And for the right woman, that's how love grows. But for the wrong woman, it's rejection. It's offense. It's ego death. She-go death. And she'll run. Let her. Never lower your standard to keep someone in your life who doesn't meet it. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be respected. Because respect is the foundation of attraction. Without it, nothing lasts. Now let's talk about the danger. The danger is when you take this too far. You read one quote on Instagram and start ghosting every woman who challenges you. That's not masculine, that's immature. Ignoring isn't the same as emotional unavailability. It's not about shutting down, it's about choosing when and how to engage. If you ignore a high-value woman who's genuinely trying to connect, you lose her. She doesn't have time to play games. She has options. She values herself. And if she opens up, if she's vulnerable and you respond with cold silence, she'll walk. Not because she's weak, but because she's strong enough not to beg. This is the balance. Ignore disrespect, not vulnerability. Ignore manipulation, not emotion. Ignore games, not genuine connection. If she's trying to work things out, don't freeze her out. Step up. Communicate like a man. But if she's throwing tantrums, punishing you with silence, testing your patience every day, that's when you pull back. And let's get even more honest. Some of you ignore women not out of strength, but out of fear. You're afraid of confrontation. You're afraid of setting boundaries. So you use ignoring as a crutch, a way to avoid the uncomfortable conversation you need to have. That's not power. That's cowardice. A real man can ignore strategically and speak directly when needed. He knows when silence is powerful and when presence is necessary. He doesn't hide behind tactics. He embodies the standard. So if you're using ignoring just to avoid conflict, you're not leading, you're escaping. There's a difference between pulling back to create space and pulling away to disappear. One is masculine, the other is weak. Know which one you're doing. And here's something else you need to hear. Don't ignore a woman hoping she'll chase you. That's ego. That's scarcity. That's still you needing her. The point of ignoring isn't to manipulate her into pursuing, it's to protect your energy from being wasted. If she steps up, great. If she doesn't, also great. You're not attached to the outcome, you're attached to your standard. That's the energy that changes everything. That's the energy that attracts quality. Because women don't fall for men who chase. They fall for men who choose. Men who discern, men who say, you're welcome in my world, but only if you bring peace. Let's talk about emotional responsibility. You are not responsible for fixing her, for healing her, for carrying her wounds. That's her job. If she projects old pain from past men onto you and you absorb it, you've just taken on weight that was never yours. You're not her therapist. You're her mirror. You reflect her energy back to her. And if that reflection isn't what she wants to see, she'll either evolve or eject. Either way, you don't lose. You gain clarity. And clarity is the most powerful position in any relationship. So yes, ignore her, but with intention, with discernment, with self-respect. Not to hurt, not to manipulate, not to control, but to lead. And leadership isn't loud, it's quiet. It's firm, it's unshakable. It's in how you walk, how you speak, how you disappear when disrespected, and return only when met with maturity. One final truth. A woman who truly values you will not risk losing you over ego. She might test you, but she'll come back with softness. She'll apologize, she'll grow. That's the kind of woman worth keeping. The kind who learns from silence, not the one who punishes it. And if she doesn't respond that way, let her go. The orbiters will entertain her drama. You're not an orbiter, you're a king. And kings don't explain their worth. They show it in every action, every boundary, every pause, every step back that says, I value peace over attention. I value respect over validation. And I value myself above all.